Here today because it's been 4 brutal years and the war is as intense as it was 4 years ago. 4 brutal years of unprovoked, full-scale Russian invasion, but in a way without proper punishment, and the heroes of Ukraine are not getting proper recognition. We will open our rally as always with the national anthem of Ukraine, and today our beautiful and wonderful singer of the Ukrainian community, Alexandra Pelitu, will perform it for us.
Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Слава Україні! А зараз давайте пом'янемо, шануємо пам'ять всіх тих, хто загинув, захищаючи нашу Україну.
We will commemorate all of the fallen heroes of Ukraine, all of the civilians and children who fell victim of brutal Russian invasion with a minute of silence. Everyone who sacrificed their lives for Ukraine to still stand within mostly untouched its borders. Ukraine lost control of 20% of its territory, but the fact that we still control 80% is thanks to the bravery of Ukrainian men and women, volunteers, and just regular people that were stopping Russian invaders with their bare hands. They were stopping the tanks. They were shooting down the drones with the jar of pickles. They were just not allowing Russians to take over their lives and their land. Resilience of every Ukrainian played a big part for us to still have the 80%. Bravery of people from other countries that formed International Legion of Ukraine, those indifferent ones, often without any ties or roots to Ukraine, they left their lives in their peaceful countries and they came to Ukraine because they cared. They cared for freedom. They understood and understand that the fight is existential. It's bigger than just one country against another. It's goodness against evil. It's democracy against dictatorship. It's whether our children will live in the bright and free future or they will live in the world that is controlled by China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. What future do we want to live in? Ukrainian fighting and deterring Russian aggression clearly shows to everybody that Ukraine chose its path. We want freedom. We share the same values as Americans do. We are mostly a Christian country. We believe in human rights. We believe in freedom, in liberty, in justice, in fair courts. We believe in power. We believe that whoever comes and is elected by us is meant to serve in the best interest of its people. And that's key difference between Ukraine and Russia. And when some people who are still confused will say something, oh, but Ukraine is similar to Russia, it's like Russia. It's nothing like Russia. Nothing. Not in spirit, not in language, not in history. We were unfortunate to be colonized by Russia for almost 400 years. And yet again, we are fighting the existential war for our existence. And it's very heartwarming to see all Ukrainians and people around the world come together and stand together and stand in unity. Because when we're united, only then we can conquer the evil. And thanks to the unity of Ukraine, the unity of our allies, and the support from our allies, thanks to indifference of other people in other countries, politicians, regular civilians, Ukraine is able to continue the fight. Ukraine secured funding from European Union for the next 2 years to be able to withstand Russian aggression. It hurts deeply to see that the United States no longer provides the same support as we used to receive in the past. But we believe that at the end, we all good people will come together and light and goodness will prevail. We're still going through things, we're still in the dark, we're still seeing that justice isn't served. But we must believe and we must continue our sacred fight, because when we stop, then it's definitely over. These 4 years ago, the lives of Ukrainians were forever changed. Putin, Russia, his generals, his closest circle, they all decided, you know what? Taking over Crimea in 2014 and most of the Donbass wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You know what? It's not enough. Time to take over the entire Ukraine. In our community, we have people, we have refugees. Most of our families are still in Ukraine, like my mom is there, my sister's there, my brother-in-law, he's serving in the military. And so are so many of us here who can share the same story, who call their parents and every other day they're in bomb shelter. This winter, no secret to anyone, was extremely brutal and continues to be such, but it's getting better. The whole month of January, especially in Kyiv, thank you, especially in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, people went through terrible freezing temperatures, was ice everywhere. In Fahrenheit, it was on average -7 Fahrenheit every day. -20, -15 Celsius every day. A lot of people in Ukraine, in the capital of Kyiv, 1 million people lost heating. They had like 50s in their rooms, in their houses. The temperature would not be more than 50, 55 degrees. Think about living like this for a month. You go outside, it's so freezing. You come home and you can't get warm. There is no electricity because people on average in Kyiv were getting 3 to 4 hours of electricity a day. My family was lucky not to live in that part of Kyiv. They had heating the entire time. And the electricity part, they already were like, you know what? 4 hours a day will work. We can charge our devices. They have a system. They made it work. They were just so grateful that they had the heating and they weren't freezing at home. Putin wants war. Whoever believes that Putin wants peace is not true, and the facts speak for itself. In 2025, Russia occupied very, very little of new territory. As you can see, the front line almost doesn't move. Very little of new territory that Russia occupied. So the question, rational and logical question would come up. Why continue the war when you are not winning? When Putin is not winning, why continue the war? The answer is simple. It's the war for the sake of war. It's the war for the sake of destruction and killing Ukrainians, committing genocide, destroying power grids, destroying countries' infrastructure to make sure that nothing functions, destroying logistics, to make sure that nobody can get to work, that people are freezing at home, that you cannot get medical care, that you cannot get education. It's destroying the future, ruining the future of the nation for the years and decades ahead. It's killing people. It's killing those most loyal and the bravest and the ones with the biggest love in their hearts for Ukraine. This is how eradication and the erosion of the nation begins. We've seen it throughout history that Stalin, even with the Tsar Russia, it started all with the Catherine II and then all the Tsars that Russia had and then Soviet Union. It was their policy, ruler after ruler, to continue destroying Ukraine, resettling, killing the language, forbidding the language, killing the best people, the artists, the poets, torture them. We've seen it all. Those of you who know Ukrainian history well, you can draw these parallels very, very easily. And so it's so important to understand for common American who may not be into the deep of Ukrainian history, understandably, that this is not Ukraine that wants to continue the war. That this is not Ukraine that doesn't want to put down the weapons. This is Russia, whose goal is to kill Ukrainian spirit, to destroy Ukrainian history and heritage, who wants to eradicate us from the map of the world. That is why our fight is truly sacred. It's for the very existence of Ukraine and our nation. And today, we will do a few chants, and one of them is our favorite. We call on everyone, all people of Texas, visitors, all Americans, stand with Ukraine! 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 Stand with Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine!
One more! Stop Russia! Stop war! 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 Stop Russia! Stop war!
Stop Russia! Stop!
Putin is a criminal! Lock him up! 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 Putin is a criminal! Lock him up!
Putin is a criminal. Lock him up.
Russia is a terrorist state! 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 Russia is a terrorist state!
Russia is a terrorist state.
Peace negotiations do not bear any results, let's be honest. Like, over a year now, where has it gotten us? Let's just be honest and sum up. We appreciate the efforts of this administration, the efforts of international community to put Russia to the negotiating table. However, the conditions and the way how it's done is not effective. It's counter-effective, to be honest. And let's just look at it from afar. Now we have the whole year ahead of in front of us, the whole 2025, when a number of negotiations took place. How many rounds of Witkoff and Putin's puppets meeting together, Jared Kushner going there, and Rubio. Let's just take a look and see what do we have today, a year later. What we have is United States has not provided any meaningful weapons to Ukraine. United States now does not provide any support, and all the support that it's coming, it's been through a trade deal, selling weapons to Europe, and Europe finances it. United States shut down intelligence information sharing a couple of times, trying to force Ukraine to the negotiating table. What pressure was Russia put under? What pressure was Russia put under to stop the brutal attacks? In fact, in 2025 compared to 2024, more civilians in Ukraine died. In 2025, more civilians died from Russian attacks than in 2024. There were more missile strikes on destroying Ukrainian infrastructure in 2025 compared to 2024. Putin got exactly what he wanted. He deterred help from the United States to Ukraine. In January, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he couldn't disclose it, but he said at one point that we finally got air defense missiles. We didn't even have them. Our stockpile was empty. We didn't have any air defense missiles to shoot down Russian rockets. So the bottom line of these negotiations is that Russia's getting what it wants, and what it wants is to continue the war. There are no new sanctions on Russia. There is no meaningful support for Ukraine. There was a talk of Tomahawk missiles that could have really changed the situation, but then US administration backed down on that. There was disgraceful meeting between Trump and Putin in Alaska. There were so many other disgraceful moments in 2025. And at the end, where we stand today is nowhere closer to the peace that we were a year ago. We want the peace negotiations to continue, but the dynamics must change. Instead of putting pressure on Ukraine, that has to shift. Pressure must be put on Russia. What concessions has Russia been forced to put forward? We know that Trump expects Ukraine and Zelensky to give away the entire Donbass. Even the lands that have not been controlled by Russia. Russia knows. That's why Putin puts these conditions up front, knowing exactly that Ukraine cannot agree to them. And then he says, oh, Ukraine doesn't want peace. But he knowingly puts a condition that Ukraine can never agree to. What country in their right mind give away land that has not been taken by the aggressor yet and call it, yeah, now it's Russian? At this moment, we don't even talk about Russia getting out of occupied territories. Think about it. Ukraine is being asked and forced to the corner by the US to give up the land that Russia does not control. Unless this condition changes, there would be no meaningful result of these negotiations. And guess what? Russia will not change this condition unless Russia loses the means to finance the war and unless Russia is drastically losing on the battlefield. These are the only two ways to stop the war. Russian budget must have no money to continue financing the war. And Russia will start losing on the battlefield. Then the true negotiations, the fair ones, ensuring the lasting peace, will begin. And our deepest hope that at some point US administration will see that this course they have taken needs to change. And this is up to every one of us. We can call. Did you know that there is a direct line to the White House? You can call. It's open, yes, within limited hours, but you can make time. It's Monday through Friday, I think like 11 to 3 or something like this. I called many times in the past. Sometimes you just leave a message. It's okay. The more we call, the more our voices are heard. Send emails, not just to White House, to your congressmen, especially to those who support this administration, to help them, to educate them that whatever they're thinking they're doing is not the true road to peace. That is why there have been no results that current president of the US is so longing for. He wants to end this war so badly, but the way how he's doing it is leading to nowhere. And let's do what we can to help him understand and realize that he is pushing the wrong guy. We are here today, dear friends. Thank you for your overwhelming support. Thank you so much for honking from your cars. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming here today. Personally, I see a lot of new faces and it warms my heart. We've been here, many of us come here for the past 4 years, and we have this group of people who are here all the time. And thanks to those people, the Ukrainian voices and Ukrainian blue and yellow flags are still wavering in the air. And we will continue. We made this commitment to ourselves. We will continue until we see fair and just ending to this war. We are here because injustice goes on, because people are dying, and at this point everyone in our family has been impacted. Many of us already have stories for the past 4 years where either a distant cousin or a friend who perished in this invasion. And the longer this continues, the more and more we will have those tragic stories in our life books. We're here today to commemorate the 4 years since the beginning of this brutal, unprovoked Russian invasion of Ukraine. 4 years ago, on February 24th, 2022, Putin started launching missiles, bombs over Ukrainian peaceful cities. That led to people fleeing Ukraine. Official official data says there are about 7 million people who are now abroad, and 4 to 5 million people internally displaced. They had to leave their houses and move to the western part of Ukraine. People's lives changed forever. And we often forget how brutal that is, when it's not your decision to leave or relocate, but you're forced to. Think about something in your life when you were forced to do, how that feels. Doesn't feel great. When it's your own decision, you feel empowered. But when the circumstances force you to change your life forever and the future you envision for yourself and your kids, that feels very harsh. That can break you. But we need to provide helping hand to those who need it the most. In our community, we have wonderful ladies like Kate and so many others who have welcomed refugees and helped them get situated. Who helped them to even like translate things because some of them didn't speak English, who helped them with furniture, with finding accommodations, with getting laptops, with helping get their kids to school. Just look around, and if you know a Ukrainian that would be grateful for your support, help them, because their lives changed forever and it's not guaranteed they'll be able to go back home. Some of their homes are already destroyed and they have nowhere to go back to. We will do a few more chants to draw some attention for our rally today. Fair peace for Ukraine! 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 We're preparing, we have some singers here who will perform for us. But let's do one more chant before we listen to some beautiful music. Support Ukraine, protect democracy! 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 Support Ukraine, protect democracy!
накрили міста, поринула брехню твоя свобода. Їх рупори кричать, до хмари мої, їх ідоли мовчать, не заважай йому. Доки він в нашій крові тоне, можливо, захлинеться скоро, від цього нам не втікти. А як нам це витримати? Ой, дайте сили, просимо і просили, вогні наші небеса. Війни, що ж там за люди, і хто їх засудить, за закриті очі, коли палають дні і ночі, і ти мовчиш, а я кричу, це справа тільки твоїх рук, почуй. Та ну, якщо не потрібна ця війна, чого ж тоді вона прийшла в мої міста? Війна, а разом з нею лікар хворий, людей лікує, що здорові. І як тепер з цим жити? Ні, як нам вижити? Один я відчуваю твій страх, два чую, як ти кричиш, але ніхто не чує, можливо, нас почують. Ой, дайте сили, просимо й просили, вогні наші небеса. Війни, що ж там за люди, і хто їх засудить, за закриті очі, коли палають дні і ночі, і ти мовчиш, а я кричу, це справа тільки твоїх рук, почуй. Я так не хочу, якщо мені помре любов, якщо мені помрути, якщо діти не знають світі, коли мовчання синонім брехні, ти ж бачиш все, скажи, як ти потім будеш жити. Потім вам не вбити мою любов, вам не вбити мої мрії. Ви не побачите наших сліз ніколи. Вам не вбити нашу любов, вам не вбити наші мрії, і наші діти знайдуть свій дім. І не треба нас рятувати. Що за дурня? Включи голову, виключи телевізор. Про себе нагадують, люди без долі блукають і маються, люди герої в серцях зали, матінка земля тримається на тих, хто віддає серця за рідних і близьких. Матінка земля тримається на тих, хто віддає серця свої для всіх. Матінка земля тримається на тих, хто віддає серця за рідних і близьких. Матінка земля тримається на тих, хто віддає серця свої для всіх. Дякую всім. Stand with Ukraine!
Thank you, Katya. Our young star, Katya Krymer. Please give her a round of applause. When I see kids like that performing in Ukrainian, born in the United States, I truly believe in our future. Thank you, Katya. Thank you for bringing hope. Thank you for bringing belief in our future. kids like you. And now, guys, we have our Nightingale, our amazing singer of Ukrainian community, greatly talented, Sasha Pelitu.
Hi, I have some couple of performances here about, they all about something. I have some poems that I prepared and I want to show you. В першій пісні я хочу, щоб ми згадали 22-й рік, прожили його, згадали, як ми згуртувалися, згадали тих, кого вже нема. Я краще співаю, ніж говорю, але від серця. Ти думав, що я вмиюся слізьми? Впаду перед тобою на коліна? Нащадку сумнозвісної орди, не по зубах тобі я, Україна. Я нація, я сила, я народ, я світло, що ніколи не згасає. Я правда, без прогнилих нагород, я істинна любов, що не вмирає.
Тіна Кароль чи Шумей?
Повітряна тривога, десь танки вже горять, зліва побратими відстрілюють ребят. Ніколи не пробачиш, ніколи не простиш, і прапор синьо-жовтий у рюкзаку лежить, і хай цей град з вогню нарешті зникне з неба, нащо ви прийшли, поставили знамена, прапор у крові став червоно-чорним, кулі не летять у очі, де ми разом стоїмо, де ми разом стоїмо. День, ніч, шість, клич, знову ніч на ніч, вогонь, вода не спить, прости, я повернусь. Повітряна тривога, десь танки вже горять, а зліва побратими відстрілюють ребят. Ніколи не пробачиш, ніколи не простиш, і прапор синьо-жовтий у рюкзаку лежить, і хай цей град з вогню нарешті зникне з неба, нащо ви прийшли, поставили знамена, прапор у крові став червоно-чорним, кулі не летять у очі, де ми разом стоїмо, та ми разом стоїмо, бо ми разом стоїмо, стоїмо, стоїмо. Слава героям! Ви не кажіть лиш мамі, що тут по коліну води. Не кажіть лише мамі, як холодно тут у окопі. Ви скажіть їй лише, все нормально, здоровий, живий, український солдат наймужнішого війська в Європі. Не кажіть лише мамі, як часто я згадую дім, теплу рідну домівку і мамині яблучні штрублі. Ви скажіть лише те, що я ситий, я сплю і я їм, а про решту не треба, бо справді не спав я добу вже. Не кажіть лише мамі, що іноді просто боюсь, що навіки залишуся тут, у холодному окопі. Ви скажіть їй, що виживу. Просто скажіть, що молюсь. Український солдат наймужнішого війська Європи.
щастя і волю я скажу дякую. У той день на межі радості й горя я скажу дякую. У той день я подивлюсь в чисте небо і скажу дякую, дякую. Віддав своє життя за це. На межі радості болю я скажу дякую. У той день на межі радості болю я скажу дякую. У той день я молюсь в чисте небо і скажу дякую.
Дякую всім, хто причетний до того, що Україна вільна і вона досі є. Останньою я хочу заспівати разом з вами. Це молитва за Україну.
Моя молитва нехай до тебе, наче фільм, і серце лине безупинно до тебе, твій небесний храм. Боже, я молюсь за Україну, Боже, молю тебе за людей. Ти їх прости, ти їх спаси, і милість свою нам яви. Боже, я знаю, що ти будеш з нами, в храмі твоєму, під небесами радісті ми. Ти дарував себе за людей, віддав книгу життя, нас записав в твоєму слові живому. Ти для людей дав, щоб люди всі молились Богу.
people. With us for 4 years, always comes over, despite the little kid, she always finds time to come and sing for us. Katya Krimer, Sasha Pelitu, thank you ladies. So right now, dear friends, we're gonna do a photo while we're all here, beautiful Ukrainian flags, posters. I need everybody to scooch a little bit towards the middle. Please, we're way spread out. I need everybody to condense, come closer, closer. Don't be afraid of each other, all friends here. Давайте, люди, трошки посуньтесь, будемо робити фотографію. Такий план. Робимо фото, записуємо відео для наших ЗСУ. We will make a photo and then we will record a video thanking Ukrainian military forces.
Діти вперед! Діти вперед!
Children, all children, please come up front. Діти наперед.
Діти вперед! Олені вперед!
Дітки наперед, ставайте. They will share some stories with all of us. So important to remember. We often overlook this topic, but it's one that is so important for all of us to keep remembering and drawing attention to. So right now, I will pull up my phone and we are going to call Senator Cornyn's office.
Thank you for coming. I was so happy to see you. I know you was there.
We're gonna call Senator Cornyn's office.
Thanks for calling my Washington, D.C. office. For general information regarding my office locations and operating hours, please press 1. To leave a comment regarding current issues of interest, please press 2. If you'd like to speak directly with a member of my staff, please press 3. To hear this message again, please press the start. I appreciate you taking the time to make your views known on policy issues of interest to you. Please leave your comment as well as your local zip code after the tone. Thank you. Have a great day.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, Senator John Cornyn. This is Daria Ledesma, resident of Texas. I live in Leander. My zip code is 78641. Here I am standing along with Ukrainian and American community in front of the Austin State, Texas Capitol. We are here gathered for the commemorating 4th anniversary of unprovoked Russian invasion. And we want to thank you for your past support of Ukraine. And at the same time, Senator, we want to encourage you to continue being the vocal advocate for Ukraine as it serves in the best national American security interests. We want to encourage you to rally support for Ukraine among your peers in the Senate and provide Ukraine with vital weapons such as Tomahawk missiles, air defense missiles, and so much more that Ukraine needs to defeat Russia on the battlefield and bring just peace and just ending to the war. I'm standing here with around 100 people and we all have a message. Stand with Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
Thank you, friends. We successfully sent the message. Woohoo! Senator Cornyn heard from us. We are now going to call Senator Cruz's office. That's a tougher bird. We'll do the same thing. Make sure you warm up your voices.
privilege to serve the great state of Texas as your United States Senator, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments. To leave a message for me about current issues or legislation, please press 1. Concerns about the important issues facing our nation. Please leave me a message and include your name, your city of residence, and your email address. Thank you.
Hello, Senator Cruz. This is Daria Ledesma from Leander, Texas. My zip code is 78641. I'm here at the Austin State Capitol with around 100 people, both Ukrainians and Americans, who gathered here today to commemorate the 4th anniversary of unprovoked Russian invasion of Ukraine. We are here because we care for just peace for Ukraine, not surrender to Putin. Senator Cruz, you are a vocal leader and voice within the Senate, and we want to thank you for your past support and for voting to provide help for Ukraine. We want to encourage you to continue your support and be the vocal voice where America needs to lead with strength and understanding, truly understanding that Russia is an enemy, not a friend of United States. Please help support Ukraine to ensure fair and lasting peace. We have a message for you, Senator Cruz, from 100 people who are standing with me. Stand with Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
We did it, guys. Thank you so much. We called both of our Texas senators, and that was easy like that. Thanks, guys. Thank you. You can do it on your own. All you have to do is save their DC, Washington, D.C. phone number in your book. Not the Texas one, because the foreign policy and policy of their office is being formed in D.C., not here. So call their office in D.C. anytime, speak to a live person, or leave a message. They track everything. They go through voicemail, they track, they do the statistics, and then they report to the center, and you know, they say on this day we had 20 calls for Ukraine, 10 calls against Ukraine, 20 calls for this issue, 10 calls against this issue. So very important that you continue calling. This is how easy it is, especially if you have it in your phone. You just push the button and you call, and all you have to say is just please continue supporting Ukraine. What's happening today is so bad and worries so many people, and we would love to see America stand up and finally put some pressure on Russia to help end this war. With that, you can all call we all have different representatives. You guys can all call your representatives. That's how easy it is. With that, Katya, do you want to call Carter's office? John Carter is the representative of the 31st district in Texas. It's mostly Georgetown, Leander, and parts of Cedar Park. So if you live in 78641 zip code, it's gonna cover, this call is gonna cover you as well. If you live in a different zip code, please find your representative. It's so easy. You can Google us, ChatGPT. So easy to find out who your representative is and get their phone number and just call.
I'm calling John Carter. He's my representative. You should call yours.
Hello, you have reached the office of
casework or you need assistance with a federal agency, please leave your name and phone number and someone will get back to you promptly. Thank you and have a great day.
Hello, Congressman John Carter. My name is Kate Voynila. I live in Leander, Texas, 78641. I'm your constituent and I'm calling you from Texas State Capitol, where me and other members of Ukrainian community and American friends gathered to support Ukraine on this 4-year anniversary of invasion of Ukraine by Russia. We are asking you to support Ukraine, to act as a legislator and make your best to pass the bills that are supporting Ukraine, Ukrainian refugees and return of Ukrainian kids home. It's us here, more than 100 people, and we have a message for you. Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
Є сенс, коротше.
Контейнери маєш на увазі?
Мені контейнери вибрали, у мене просто військові контейнери. Нереально. Stand with Ukraine! Все, я пішла. Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine! Stand with Ukraine!
Stand with Ukraine!
Thank you so much for your support. We hope for more support from your office. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, dear friends. We will be finishing at 1 o'clock, but before that, very, very important topic that Yulia and Alexandra are so vocal about. They brought it up in our community and truly were driving the attention to it. You know, there is so much devastation happening when it comes to Ukraine that it's like, where do you put your energy toward? Do you go advocate in DC? Do you run rallies? Do you fundraise? Do you support refugees? And topic of people still in Russian captivity is somehow important, but it's not always in the front of our minds. And I want to truly thank Yulia and Alexandra for driving this. And they prepared, girls, please come forward. They prepared these beautiful posters that's worth going over. So many people today remain in Russian captivity, and we've all seen the videos and the pictures of those people being released before and after. Before, it was a healthy man in his prime, and after, it was a person almost like a skeleton with no muscles, with a bunch of sicknesses and illnesses that are not going to be for the rest of their lives. We need to remember about these people and do whatever we can to release them as soon as possible so they can be taken care of properly, be with their loved ones, and get the medical care they deserve. With that, I'm going to pass to Yulia to speak about this important topic.
Investigation reports say that Russia has... Investigation reports say that Russia has detained more than 13,000 Ukrainian military men and women, as well as 1,000 civilians. These numbers are way, way higher because we don't know, we don't have access to these places, and Russia denies access for independent monitors to detention sites. Those who returned from Russia, from Russian captivity, described horrifying abuse that they went through, including severe beatings, sleep deprivation, mock executions, torture, sexual violence, denial of medical treatment, and starvation. I want to read a story of someone who went through this horrific experience. This is the story of Artur Glurukov, a 25-year-old Ukrainian soldier who spent 3 years in Russian captivity. He returned home in May 2025 during the prisoners' exchange. When Artur was captured, Russians found him in a dark basement with almost no food or water, and about 10 Russian soldiers severely beat and tortured him daily. When he was transferred to a detention facility, it became even worse. His cell, designed for 8 people, at some point had up to 74 people, both civilians and prisoners of war,
some of whom were severely wounded. Guards denied prisoners toilet access for days, forcing them to use bags. He was stripped to his underclothes and spent the next 4 months without shoes or sufficient clothing. Once every 2 weeks, prisoners of war would be sprayed with ice-cold water from fire hose as a form of bathing. Artur was tortured with electroshocks, subjected to mock executions, and attacked by German Shepherd dogs, leaving him with infected wounds. He was beaten so badly that his jaw remained locked in place for 2.5 months. Russians opened a fabricated criminal case against him and tortured him to force a false confession that he had killed civilians. He was placed in a solitary cell for 1.5 years. He described sleep deprivation and being forced into stress positions for hours. Guards deprived him of food for extended periods of time, leading him to eat cockroaches to survive. His health collapsed. He contracted tuberculosis. His weight dropped to 88 pounds. When he was exchanged in May 2025, Russians handed him over in unconscious state, barely alive. He required surgery to remove parts of his stomach due to necrosis. At 25 years old, he says that his ability to work and function is now significantly restricted due to post-traumatic stress disorder, tuberculosis, and memory loss.
So we all know that Ukrainians are being assaulted everywhere, in their homes, on the front lines, everywhere. You cannot hide. But I think the most vulnerable they are when they are captured, and especially vulnerable are women. So I will be reading a story from a woman who was in Russian captivity. Larissa, 53, a former servicewoman in Ukrainian's National Guard, was captured by the Russians in occupied Mariupol in 2022, along with her husband and 34-year-old son. Larissa spent 7 months in captivity, initially held in a penal colony in Olenivka, before being transferred to a pre-trial detention center. In the cells, the women were forced to stand for 12 hours a day. When taken to the shower, they were made to wear bags over their heads, pass in front of the male guards completely naked, bend low, and wash in ice-cold water. Afterwards, we were forced to sing the Russian anthem while naked. We returned to the cells in tears, utterly distraught, crying and in a state of hysteria. It was inhumane. To them, we were nothing, Larissa recalls. We were constantly being told that we were fascists and that if we weren't shot by our own people during an exchange, someone else would kill us. The threat of death was always there. Larissa's husband and son remain in captivity. The thought that they may be enduring the same suffering she experiences keeps her awake at night. I want to tell them that I love them. I was trapped for 7 months, but to think of them there 3 years later is unbearable, she said. And as Yulia mentioned, the estimate is that around 13,000 Ukrainian people are in captivity. So if you think about 13,000 moms and dads waking up every day in pain because you don't know what is your child going through, that's why I think it's our duty to bring this up in every time when we talk about peace, when we talk about things being fair for Ukraine, and fair peace of Ukraine. Let's remember these people and let's bring them home. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was very sobering and chilling. People's stories are truly powerful, and we can talk nice things or right things and beautiful things, but unless you hear a real person's story, it doesn't really perhaps click as much. So I think it's very important, a takeaway from today for us to share those stories and have them not be forgotten. There are so many of them, and they are, like all of us we come across those stories, and if we share even one story that others read and maybe, feel something, we can help ignite more people to stand with our fight. We are united and we want just and fair peace for Ukraine, but at this point it's clear we need more. We need more support and we need more from each and every one of us. Fatigue is noticeable everywhere. People now often avoid speaking about Ukraine because that's a heavy topic for everybody. My colleagues at work less and less frequently now ask me, so how are you? How's your family? And I'm very vocal at my work. Everybody knows I'm from Ukraine. Everybody knows, that I rallied support among my colleagues. And over the past 4 years, I just see less and less people asking me, so how's everything? But it should not discourage any of us. We should bring this topic. We should bring it up. We should keep making noise. We should keep being inconvenient. We should be that squeaky wheel. People want to move on. Governments, countries want to move on. They want something else. Media moved on big time. But we need to be that inconvenient, noisy, annoying, squeaky wheel. We need to keep knocking on the door. We need to keep calling these legislators. We need to keep calling the White House. We need to keep talking to our neighbors, to our colleagues, and bring this up at work and continue with volunteering and events and fundraising and showing up at the rallies and sharing on social media. So important. Again, it was a rally dedicated to the 4th anniversary of the brutal war in Ukraine. I want to thank everybody on behalf of the Ukrainian community, especially to our American friends who are here now every Saturday, who come and who stand in solidarity with Ukrainians. Thank you so much. You truly have nobody in Ukraine. It would be so easy for you to just spend the Saturday at home watching a movie or doing something, but you chose to come and stand here, and it means so much to us. It makes us feel that we're not alone, that Americans care, and we tell it to our family, and they know. We send photos, and they know that Americans still care. And whatever they may be seeing or coming, the news that are coming sometimes out of the current administration aren't very uplifting, but it's the people, it's the Americans who make a difference. It's all of us who have a right to vote and express our vote. We need to exercise that right and not to forget how powerful it is. As we've seen, appeasing a dictator never works. And current strategy of appeasing Putin is failing in front of our eyes. We just see it. A year of useless negotiations that continue is going to bear no result until the real pressure is put on Russia. Appeasing a dictator doesn't work. What works is strength, is cutting off financial paths for Russia to refill their budget and fuel their war machine. What works is defeating Russian soldiers and kicking them out from Ukrainian land. This is the only way to stop the war. Putin will not withdraw as long as he has money to finance the war and continue killing Ukrainians. He has a personal obsession with Ukraine. Of course, the entire Russian elite and common Russian folk, they support Putin, and they've always seen Ukraine as not a legitimate country. But Putin is particularly merciless and obsessed with Ukraine. And when you take the head of the dragon, it doesn't mean the entire dragon will die. There are more heads, but you will take down the biggest one that causes the most pain. That's why we need to keep fighting. We need to keep fighting for truth. Those of you who haven't joined Austin TX Ukrainians Facebook group, please join. You will see all kinds of events and fundraisers going on. You will see posts from Ukrainian community about different events or services that Ukrainians, refugees who may be in need. Call your... I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I wanted to finish this rally with a short words of greatest Ukrainian poet Taras Shevchenko. the words that he wrote that still resonate today. I will read it in Ukrainian and then the English translation. Борітеся, поборете, вам Бог помагає. За вас правда, за вас слава і воля святая. Keep fighting, you are sure to win. God helps you in your fight. For fame and freedom march with you, and right is on your side. Thank you so much. Слава Україні! Слава народу! Україна! Дякую, друзі! Have a great day!